see how slippery it is. It's just going to spin around the corners because it's just so slick, okay? And you can see this hasn't been plowed at all. And I just ran over the curb. I couldn't see the curb because of the because of the snow. We lost some steering there. You can hear it spinning. The tires are just spinning on this. Trying to get up the hill here. Hi there, smart drivers. We've had some spring snow here. We've had a dump of 4 to 6 inches of wet snow, and it is heavy and it is incredibly slippery. If you're going for a driver's test, you're going to postpone your driver's test because it's just too slippery for you to be driving around in this. We're going to go for a drive. We're going to show you how slippery this is. I mean, it's incredibly beautiful with the snow on the trees and whatnot, but it's slick because, as I said, the temperature is right around freezing and it's wet, heavy snow. So let's go for a drive, show you how to drive around in wet, heavy snow. Headlights on. Turn your lights from the auto position to the on position so that you activate your tail lights. I've got my window cracked down a little bit. Defrost is on. The air conditioning, if you can turn that on the car that you have, it will draw the moisture out of the cabin and help to defrost the glass faster inside your vehicle. And we'll get the defrost on the back window as well to get that. And the windshield wipers on. You'll probably later in the day, once it starts to get slushy and you get all that goop and guck, especially if you're getting out on the highway and whatnot, you'll want to make sure that your windshield washer fluid is topped up as well. We're just going to slow down here before the sidewalk. Make sure there aren't any pedestrians. Not likely there's going to be pedestrians out on this day. And you can see how slippery it is. That it's just going to spin around the corners because it's just so slick. And think of it like a ice hockey rink right after the Zamboni goes out and floods the ice. It's going to be slippery because there's a layer of water on top of the ice that's lubricating it and making it slippery. The other point about driving in the wintertime, taking your test in the wintertime, the main roads are going to be plowed. So this is a main road through the suburb here, and it's already plowed. But you can see that the back streets yet are not plowed. So know that when it snows, that the main roads are going to be plowed first. And once you get into the residential streets here, I'll just turn on this residential street here, shoulder checking, slowing right down before I turn, turning the steering wheel approximately 1 revolution, nice and easy around the corner because it's slippery and it's slick. And as I said, it got warm there last week, and I'm glad I didn't take the winter tires off the buggy because winter tires definitely help in this kind of snow and whatnot. So, and you got piles of snow on the roadway, it's slushy, it's going to push you around a little bit, so you want to get your speed down as well. And most important, when following other traffic, we'll get out here on the main road here, keep that 3 to 4 second following distance, because as road conditions deteriorate, you want to increase your following distance to keep yourself safe. Nice and easy around the curves, corners, and turns, because that's where you're going to get into trouble in the wintertime, curves, corners, and turns. Okay, and we're going downhill here, and I can see that it's slick here, and there's a yield sign here, so I have to give way to other traffic. Now I'm just going to sneak up here, and I'm going downhill. I'm driving a manual transmission, so I'm just going to keep it in second. And there's a pickup truck here, and they're stopped, so then we'll proceed. So that's the way that you do it to keep yourself safe, because you're not absolutely sure that that guy in the pickup truck is going to get stopped at the intersection. So always best to slow down back from where you want to get stopped. I want to get stopped at the stop sign. I'm slowing down back here so that I make sure I get stopped at the stop sign. I'm creeping up and I'm stopping. I'm checking for pedestrians on the sidewalk and stopping here. Nobody coming, and we proceed. Okay, going left at the roundabout, signaling left. Cars coming to a stop. No cars coming this way. I'm on the truck apron there a little bit. Signaling to exit the roundabout. And if you do end up driving in weather like this, as I said, space between that bus and me, 3 to 4 seconds. That is your most important driving skill when weather conditions deteriorate. Keep that following distance in front. And slowing down back from where they're going, because they stopped because there was a pedestrian on the sidewalk, as you saw there. and we're making sure the car behind us came to a stop, and they did. The bus proceeds, and then we proceed. We're making sure there's nobody else at the intersection. We're going to turn right at this intersection. Shoulder checking twice. Light is still green. Making sure the cross traffic gets stopped. No pedestrians. Shoulder checking just before turning. So as you can see, when I cleared off the car, I did the best to get the snow off the whole car and off the roof of the car as well, because what's going to happen in this wet, just snow that's a big block of, you know, it sticks together and it's very sticky. It's great for building snow people. But you come up to a stop sign, if you don't clear that snow off the roof, what's going to happen is it's going to slide down over your windshield, and it's going to block your vision, and you're not going to be able to see, and you're in a very dangerous situation. So take the time and get all that snow off the top of the vehicle so it doesn't do that, slide down over the hood. Never use cruise control on a driver's test. Never use cruise control in this kind of weather. It's just too slippery and unpredictable. You could lose traction at any time. So you want to keep on the throttle. That way, if the tires break traction, you can just take your foot off the throttle, reapply the accelerator rather, and then oftentimes that's enough to get yourself back with traction. Okay, there's a pickup truck behind. We're just making sure. I'm going to turn here at the intersection. I did signal a bit early. Okay, and you can see this hasn't been plowed at all. And I just ran over the curb because of the snow. Nice and slow when you're on stuff like this. Okay, as I said, you don't know what you might hit something, and if you're going slower, you're going to reduce the amount of damage that you do to your vehicle. It's just going to bounce over there. Okay, we're coming up to the edge of the intersection. We can't see quite here, so we're creeping out, and we can see, and we're going to proceed. You can see there's a big bump there coming into the alleyway. So nice and slow. Okay, turning left, slowing down back here, creeping up, checking the sidewalk. There's nobody on the sidewalk. Signal on, we move out until we can see there's a car coming. In this kind of weather, you can wait, okay? If you're unsure how fast that person is going, that other car, then just wait to proceed. Especially they're coming downhill, they're gonna have a hard time getting their vehicle stopped. So it's better to be safe in this kind of weather if you're driving than it is to go out and charge, okay? Because you don't know what kind of traction you have either that you're gonna get. You might end up spinning coming out there, and then you're slowed down, and they're going really fast, which might cause a crash. So know that it's better to be a little bit cautious, okay? Shoulder checking, car coming, we're good. Shoulder checking, and we proceed around the corner. And I'm experiencing some understeering. That's why I slowed right down, because the car was still going straight even though the steering wheel was turned. So that's understeering, is when the vehicle continues to go straight. So I just kept slowing down until it got traction to come around the corner there in that slippery conditions. Nice and slow around the curves, corners, and turns. That way we maintain traction. We lost some steering there. So again, get off the accelerator and let it slow down, and that way you can get your traction back for steering, okay? We're going around the corner here, so nice and slow. There's no controls there, okay? And you can see it's really working. I'm gonna shift down to second now. I get more traction in second gear. And you can hear it spinning. The tires are just spinning on this, trying to get up the hill here. Those are some tips and strategies for driving in wet, deep snow. Know that it's gonna be clear out on the main roads, but on the back roads, it's going to be messy and wet and slick, and it's going to push you around. You're going to experience understeering. You're going to experience oversteering, or the back end's going to kick around if you're too heavy on the accelerator. Go slow. Keep your space in front. Don't compromise that space in front to keep yourself safe driving in wet, heavy snow. And remember, pick the best answer, not necessarily the right answer. Have a great day.